to thank God for allowing us to be here today. Thank everyone for coming out. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Stacy Cummings. I'm born and raised here in Laurel, Mississippi. I attended Laurel High School, graduated in 1994. I also attended William Carey University. I got my bachelor's degree in business administration. I am co-owner of two thriving businesses within Ward 5. I have always been proud of my birthplace, Laurel, Mississippi. When I meet people, I probably tell them where I'm from and let them know what we have to offer here in our historic city. With that said, the city that we live in can be so much more. What we need is new leadership, new ideas, new vision, and someone with the dedication, energy, and work ethic to roll up their sleeves and get the job done. I decided to run for councilman here in Ward 5 because I want to be a part of this great city's resurgence. I want to affect and effect growth and development in the community in which I live. I want Ward 5 to be an example for the entire city and show them that Ward 5 citizens have a voice, that we will no longer tolerate jobs that pay us low wages because they're the only show in town. We will no longer tolerate streets, sidewalks, drainage systems, sewage, and water problems. We will no longer tolerate subpar education for our youth, nor will we stand by while neglected homes and dilapidated homes bring down our property value. We are going to take a stand and elect a new leader, a leader for this ward, a leader that cares about representing a proud people and making sure that Ward 5 and the city of Laurel resumes its proper place as a prominent city in the state of Mississippi. First and foremost, we must prioritize education. I feel we are on the right track with parents, superintendent, and school board. Our scores are improving, as well as the morale of the students and educators. I will work with the Laurel School District to explore solutions and advocate fair and safe learning environments for our students, educators, and parents. Education and community are both important to business, industry, and investors seeking a place to locate, relocate, or start anew. In order to attract consideration, we must invest in Laurel's infrastructure. In order to be a city which can sustain growth, maintain communities, publicly and privately, we must be financially responsible, yet progressive, and honest about where we spend our money, and honest about where we spend our money, and unbiased about where we spend our money as well. Effectively balancing repairs to areas of great need and maintenance of functional areas will have to be well managed. Laurel must find ways to attract and retain local high school students, junior college graduates, university graduates to continue to add to our workforce and truthfully be a part of an ever-growing and youthful future. The city of Laurel must reevaluate and improve every aspect of the way that we operate in an effort to productively move forward. Every person or business that Ward 5 represents has a part to play in the future of our ward and our city. The social and economic lines must no longer be used as an excuse or a dividing factor. Crime must also be addressed. All citizens are guaranteed equal protection under the law. I cannot support a judge who speaks to persons in the courtroom in a manner which lacks respect. I must address constant profiling and harassing of certain citizens in the ward. In order to keep residents, attract young people, families with youth, and newcomers, a documented reputation of injustice can be a very damaging thing. As we are excited about the lower crime rates, we must remember and understand that the human rights of all persons must be respected, no matter who they are, where they live, their social or financial status. Now you've heard a few things that concern me about Ward 5 and how Ward 5 can add to the value of the city of Laurel. I hope you can feel the belief and the passion that I have for these issues. With all my ideas and all the plans that I have for Ward 5, there's one thing that I must do above all, and that is to keep my hand on the pulse of the community of Ward 5. My job will be to represent you in such a manner that you will be proud to call me your councilman for Ward 5. When I am elected, I will treat that council seat with the respect and dignity that it deserves. Ward 5, it's time out for buddy-buddy politics. It is time to elect a leader that is progressive, energetic, and committed to be a public servant for all the citizens of Ward 5. It is time to elect Stacy Cummings as your councilman. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Clinton Drummond Jr. Lived here in Laurel all my life. I graduated from Laurel in 1993. Proud father of 3 kids, all within the school district here. I am a promoter of law in everything I do. I'm definitely energetic when it comes to the idea of my city and how I can make it better, because I am here. I am dedicated to being a part of the improvement and also the restructuring of our common concerns and problems. I don't intend to be long, but I like to address some of the concerns that we've all heard from each ward, each candidate. It's been resounding, it's been overstated, it's been constant. We know insufficient water pressure, we know bad streets, we know waste management, we know these problems exist. I think we don't understand is the comparison to get the cost for delivering these services. I think that's where we have fallen aside and just fussing about the issue and not addressing a solution. This is something that I intend to bring forward toward the council seat once I am installed and able to bring forth some ideas, some policies, some initiatives that we can actually move on. We can actually have an opportunity to sit down and extend beyond the normal thinking. The traditional realm is no longer the same. If you understand the word improvement, you understand the root of it is to improve. To improve is to accept and agree with the fact that there's going to be some changes. Change is hard, especially when you're so caught up in not going by the same routine every time. You want to make this change, but you're afraid. That's something that's got to be pushed through. You have to be beyond that. That's what I'm going to bring to you, is not that ability to say, I will hold off and wait and see how things will occur in the next 10, 20 years. We want to start now. We want to start putting things in place. We want to start with outlines and policies so we can have something that will start growing. We need some time factors on there, some time restraints, so we can have some clear definitions to the individuals that we are serving. Some of the initiatives that I intend to put out is the fact that we need to allow our citizens from our ward another medium or means to conversate, to have a rapport with your council person. I intend to put media centers in our wards so you have a multimedia option to kind of offset some of the issues before they make it to City Hall, before they make it to the City Council. This could be done via webmail, via wherever. These are options that technology has brought to us, and we should take full advantage of. I would like to continue the opportunities to research for these issues that we know for its waste management. You know, there are other options out there that we have yet to even look into. You know, there are recycling issues that we can actually go out and we can pursue. We have our streets, which we know that are damaged. We need to give clear understanding to our citizens that they are on a time schedule, that your street will not just be a reactive action to a pothole that your car is hit. You know, I would like to engage in housing improvement projects so that our homeowners can take a proud ownership of their community. Not only just saying I have a home, but say I live in a community that I'm proud of, that I'm willing to invite you over. Not just to be embarrassed to say, oh, I got a nice home, but no, I want to be proud of the community I live in, the ward. So you have this ability when you start growing together and start allowing each other as a whole unit to make the city more better. I would like to talk about also an outreach program, not only just for our youth, but for our seniors as well. Our seniors live in a time frame where they feel inadequate. That's why we need to have these programs to have them reach back to help train, maintain, and I guess encourage our youth, because there is a factor that is missing between the two. This is an opportunity now that we can have both ends of the spectrum working together to help those of us who are out from 9 to 5, out on our jobs. In summation, I would like to tell you that I'm willing and provided that I'm elected on Tuesday to work with anyone who has a strong desire, a strong structural plan for advancement and empowering our communities in order for our city to be a more successful place for us to live. I don't want to be just reactive. I want to be proactive in all regards from our ward within our city. I'm prepared to face the hard challenges. I'm prepared to see those issues through. I'm prepared to be their voice, and I'm prepared to be the spokesperson for Ward 5. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Manuel Jones. I'm running for re-election to Ward 5. I've been in Laurel all my life. Oak Park graduate. Sunday school teacher at Providence Baptist Church. I'm on the board of trustees at Providence Baptist Church. I've served on the Jones County Extension Service. I was on the advisory board for Jones County Chamber of Commerce. And I'm going to tell you about my platform that I'm going to have when I get re-elected. My platform is to continue the work I started when I first got on the Laurel City Council. I will continue to seek funds to repair the old 70-year-old water lines that should have been fixed 40 years ago. But the politicians in the past, they didn't fix the line because they didn't want to have a tax increase. So now, what we need to do is fix them. We got to repair a problem that the politicians should have corrected, like I said, 40 years ago. The water and sewer line is messing our streets up. I took a delegation to Washington, D.C. about 3 years ago to try to get some funds from our representatives and senators up there to repair these old dilapidated water lines. And we all know that don't nothing last forever. You can buy a new car, eventually it's gonna break down. That's what's gonna happen to these old galvanized water lines in the city of Laurel. That's the reason we cannot pave streets. Some of the other counties have already said that we cannot pave until we get these water lines fixed. But it don't make sense to fix one, pave the street, and then come back and have to dig it up to fix it. I will continue to work with each council person to move this city forward. And that's what it's called, teamwork. There's 7 different minds on the Laurel City Council. And teamwork comes with unity. You have to be unified and touch base with each council person. And once you touch base with each council person, then you get with the mayor, then you find a solution. It seems like it's hard, but it's not hard when you are unified. I will continue to work to bring jobs in the city of Laurel. You have to deal with the EDA to bring jobs here. Now my thing is that everything seems to be going to the county. This council have got to take a stand and make some tough decisions on which way we want to go. I propose, over the last several years, I have proposed to bring everyone that's on different boards in this city to come to City Hall and let's talk to them. You know, the law says you can't tell a board member on any board what they can and they can't do. But the law don't say you can't call them in and talk to them. We are lacking that because the board members that we appoint have not been called in. I will continue to work with the schools on educating our kids. I prepared myself, and I said this at the last forum, I prepared myself for this position by going to council meetings, by going to board of supervisors meetings. I went to school board meetings, city and county. I went to EDA meetings. And I prepared myself for this position. not trying to take nothing away from nobody, but you need to have a heart in what you're doing. And you got to have the knowledge to see what you are doing and which way you are going. You know, it is hard, but you got to have the people to help you. And when I said people to help you, you got to have the citizens, and then plus you got to have your colleagues on this city council. There's 7 different minds. And all of the council members don't think the same way. But you have to come back and, like Reverend Logan said, pray. We start each council meeting with a prayer. And prayer,
Everybody doing? Good. All right. My name is Big Ben. Fighting a little bit of a cold. I was on the youth trip with the youth from Laurel First Young Methodist this weekend, where I'm the youth minister. My wife and I own a small business that we operate out of a loft in downtown, which is in Ward 5. And we own a house in Ward 5. I'm not from Laurel. I wasn't born and raised here. I didn't grow up going to high school games on Friday nights between the bricks. But I think that actually helps me in being on the council for Laurel, because I think it takes someone from outside the city to see what this city offers. People who grew up here, they get tired of it. They don't see the beauty for it. I want to spend some money on tourism. We're not spending a lot of money on tourism. We bring in almost as much money in sales tax revenue every month as the city of Biloxi. Think about what all Biloxi offers and what all they do to bring people in. And we're almost matching that, and we're not even trying to bring in tourism. We've got the sportsplex. We need to be doing stuff there every weekend, bringing people in, or every month at least. We have the oldest art museum within the state of Mississippi, and it's located in Ward 5. Ward 5 has 2 major gateways into the city. If you're coming from Meridian or anywhere north on 59, you're probably going to take the Chantilly exit. You only get one chance to make a first impression. If you've ever taken that exit, you see the impression that we're making. The city of Laurel also has, Ward 5 also encompasses about 90% of the historic district, which is the largest historic district in the state of Mississippi. I think that's something we need to build on. One of the candidates talked about building codes. We need to improve the work that Mr. Bill did for the historic district. We need to continue that and carry it on. We also encompass about 30% of the central business district. In cities statistically across the United States of America, where cities have a healthy central business district, the entire city thrives. I've been on the board for Laurel Main Street for 5 years, since before I started working in the city of Laurel. I lived here, I wanted it to improve, I wanted to do the best I could. Since I've been on the board, I was president for 2 years and vice president for a year. I'm still a voting member. Since I've been on the board, we have brought in over $3 million of private investment. That's not tax dollars being spent in downtown, that's private investment. $3 million plus. We've also brought in grants for new trees, for new park benches, for new lighting. We're doing a lot with Laurel Main Street. We're continuing to do that. We brought in 35 new businesses, 115 new jobs. Downtown Laurel is not that big. You can walk around and not get tired. But there are 115 new jobs within that central business district. We need to continue that. We need to work on partnerships. Working at the church, my job is to get these kids to come to church so that I can teach them about relationships with God and relationships with other people. That's what the city needs to be working on. We need to be recruiting new businesses. We need to be working on relationships with the EDA. Yeah, a lot of businesses go into the county, but the county people are in the EDA's office every week. They're in there trying to get them. They're not sitting around and waiting. That's what we do with Laurel Main Street. We don't wait. We go and meet with people. We take them to lunch. We shake hands. We get out and we do a little bit of work to bring in new things. We've sat around and we've sat on our laurels for too long. We're so proud of the city of Laurel and what it's been. But we need to work forward. We need to go forward. We need to bring in new businesses. We can't rest on Laurel Machine and Foundry and Howard's and Masonite and Sanderson Farms forever. These are extremely great corporations right here within the city. We need to grow on that. We need to make it easier for those businesses to expand and for new businesses to come in. And then we need to go out and we need to talk to these businesses and say, hey, look, we want you to come to Laurel. What's it going to take to get you to come here? That's what I want to do for Ward 5. Ward 5, in my opinion, is the most important part of the city of Laurel because of everything I just told you about, everything that it has to offer. And we need to start capitalizing on that. The entire city needs to capitalize on what we have and what we can be. Ward 5 needs to do the same thing, and we need an energetic, a strong leader for that. Don't rest on your laurels. Big man won't rest on his. Thank you.